Welcome to Stab the Dragon Productions for episode number 209, whiskey review number 64, although I've done lots more. But in this series, 64. It is March 24th, 2025 and 78 degrees in Fort Worth, Texas. Tonight, we'll be studying the famous Elmer T. Lee Single Barrel Bourbon, coming out of Buffalo Trace Distillery in Frankfort, Kentucky. I've had this bourbon for a couple of years, went without opening it, waited for a special occasion, and so last November when the U.S. was having its election process, I figured, why not? So we opened it. My son and I had just finished the bottle of Blanton's Gold not long before, so it seemed appropriate to open a special bourbon. One of my local liquor stores, Goody Goody, used to have a bottle club where they would call me or email me and give me a heads up on some special releases and I could sign up for them. Allocated liquors, limited editions, all that. And they'd give me the price range and then I could put one on reserve and go pick it up. So that was a really nice thing, but they stopped doing that. I don't know if they got sued or just got tired of people complaining that, hey, how come I didn't get notified? Who knows? But a good thing went away. There you go. Now when they get their special whiskeys in, you know what they do? They just set it out on a table at the front of the store and first come, first serve. And I see it on Facebook or something from one of the whiskey groups I'm in here locally. And by the time I get to the store, everything's gone. So, oh well. Well, just the facts. This is a 90 proof single barrel using sour mash bill number 2 from Buffalo Trace, which is the mash bill shared with Ancient Age and Blanton's. A little bit higher rye. There's no age statement on the bottle, nor on the website, and this is named for the famous master distiller at Buffalo Trace Distillery, Elmer T. Lee, who worked at Buffalo Trace or George Stagg Distillery for 36 years until his retirement in 1985. He passed away in 2013. Again, I paid $50 for this in January of 2023, so just over 2 years ago. The manufacturer suggested retail price for this at the time was $40. It is somewhat scarce in the US, but more plentiful in Japan because that brand is owned by the Japanese. My score for this whiskey is an 87. The letter grade, drinkability, a solid A. My recommendation, for all the hype and the word of mouth, and there's a lot of that, I think this whiskey was oversold. Now, it is very good, but is it outstanding? Maybe not. Is it worth the $50 I paid? Definitely, yeah. If you've never had it, it is worth the pursuit. If nothing else, then for the fame of it. But I would not pay some ridiculous price. And again, $50 for this 2 years ago, I think was well worth it. But $75, no, I don't think I would do that. Whatever some people are paying on the secondary market, there's people paying $100 for this. No, it's not. I mean, if you've got that kind of money to burn and you are a collector like me, then maybe it is worth it. But I really wouldn't go much over $50. I don't know what the price is currently, but so am I glad that I bought mine? Oh, absolutely. And if I saw it again for about $50, I would probably buy it again. But this is not in my A+ range, okay? I'm a Texas whiskey guy, and that's my A+ range. So this is in a solid A, but $50 is good. All right, let's go into the details. History. Elmer T. Lee was born in Kentucky in 1919. He was a student at the University of Kentucky when the Second World War started, and he dropped out of school, enlisted in the Army Air Corps, and he became a bombardier on B-29 super fortresses in the Pacific Theater during World War II. Wow, that's hero status right there. After the war, he went back to college, got his degree, and then began working at the George T. Stagg Distillery as a maintenance engineer. In 1966, he had advanced to plant superintendent, and then in 1969 they made him the plant manager. And he continued until retirement in 1985. In 1984, before retirement, he changed the world of bourbon forever by launching the single barrel bourbon known as Blanton's. Upon his retirement, the Buffalo Trace Distillery named the next single barrel after him, Elmer T. Lee. They got in the particular warehouse and the particular level that he liked to get his whiskeys from. And so each bottle comes from a single barrel, but you know, there's lots of different barrels that they use. They just don't blend the barrels. So each bottle may come from, suppose you got 3 bottles, it may come from 3 different barrels, but they're all single barrels. All right, so that's the history behind this. Oh, he in 2001 was inducted into the Kentucky Bourbon Hall of Fame. 5 points for history. Bottle, label, and marketing. This bottle is a little bit on the square side with rounded corners, short and stubby. The label is kind of etched into the glass there. It's not, yeah, I'm not real sure how they did that, but very classy bottle that is gold, and it emphasizes, you know, clear visibility of the whiskey. And of course, that's his portrait in the back of the bottle, which is pretty cool as well. So all in all, the bottle and the label is great. Marketing, I've not seen any online advertisements or print advertisements for this at all. It's entirely word of mouth. I mean, when I got into whiskey about, I don't know, 13 years ago or so, immediately online I started seeing Buffalo Trace. I started seeing blends. I started seeing Elmer T. Lee mentioned. And it was kind of this is the epitome of American bourbons that you should strive for. You know, Stag, all of these Buffalo Trace products seem to be at the top tier. So of course I was interested in it. I just, you know, I didn't pursue them, but I kind of stumbled into one friend, David, gave me a bottle of Blanton's Gold that he picked up in Japan. And then I picked up this Elmer T. Lee and a Colonel E.H. Taylor at the Goody Goody when they had the bottle club. And then David also gave me a double or Eagle Rare. So, you know, you can find these. I heard recently that here in Fort Worth, there was a store, King's Liquor, that had some high-end Buffalo Trace stuff available, but it's all word of mouth. And so there's not, if you can accomplish the job strictly by word of mouth without paying for advertising, good for you. So 4 points for bottle, label, and marketing. Composition. This is mash bill number 2 from Buffalo Trace, so it's a little bit higher rye percentage in the recipe. So you're looking at 12, 13, 14%, somewhere in that range, which is the same as blends, right? And what that higher rye does is it tamps down on the sweetness just a bit and gives it a little bit more spiciness, peppery notes, right? And so compare this with regular Buffalo Trace or Eagle Rare, and it's not going to be quite as sweet, I don't think. To me, Eagle Rare and Buffalo Trace are a little bit too sweet, in the wrong direction for me. But Elmer T. Lee and Blanton's are right on target for me. No age statement, though. Nothing on the bottle or on the website gives you an age statement. So again, some slight barrel differences are going to be evident if you buy several bottles of this. But otherwise, composition, 13 points. Appearance. This is pretty much middle of the road for me. I give this a 3 points. Texas bourbons can usually be darker than this. And so Texas bourbons will usually be a 4. A rare 5, like Tawakero, I think, is a 5. But so this is a good Kentucky bourbon, 3 points. The nose. Now my nose barely works. with bourbons. For whatever reason, I can't smell bourbons most of the time. And also for whatever reason, I can smell Elmer T. Lee, the bourbon that is. And it smells wonderful. I'm getting notes of caramel, brown sugar, dark fruits, rye spice. I mean, I'm getting, now the website says clove, vanilla, leather. I just never get vanilla. I just don't. Cloves, maybe. I'm getting some spiciness here. Maybe the leather. So really, this is one of the better noses of a whiskey that I've ever had. So 9 out of 10 points there. Taste and palate. Now the website says fruit, honey, vanilla, light spiciness. I get the spiciness from start to finish, and it's very good. That high rye content works for me. That's my wheelhouse for bourbons, definitely. I get some fruit. I guess it's cherry that I'm getting. Leather, oak, char, caramel, maybe some other dark fruit going on there, like plum, possibly. But no vanilla for me. Nope. This is really a very nice bourbon. 22 out of 25 points for taste and palate. Mouthfeel, burn, and finish. The mouthfeel for a 90 proofer is decent, pretty good. It's very nice and appropriate but mild burn. The burn focuses in the mouth, doesn't really go up in the sinuses or down in my chest. I'm a guy who likes the burn. I think the definition of smooth whiskey is made too much of. Okay, so for me, I like a little bit of a burn. This has just a little bit of a burn, not a whole lot, but it's very appropriate, so I think it's good. The spiciness and wood, leather notes, char, this stays on for the finish quite a ways, and the cherry note hits me on the finish as well. Now, some reviews that I read have complained that it's too thin. I don't get that at all. I think the mouthfeel here is just right. It's good. So really, this is a very nice bourbon. I'm saying 14 out of 15 points for mouthfeel, burn, and finish. Neat or mixer? I definitely prefer it neat. I guess you could put it on the rocks if that's your thing. At $50 a bottle, I simply would not put it in a cocktail. By reputation, I would not put this in a cocktail. If you put Elmer T. Lee in a cocktail, I don't know what to think. Sorry. I know the best whiskey is the whiskey you like, drinking it the way you like it. Okay, I get that. But dang, there's some heresy out there if you're putting this in cocktail. I don't know. So there's some whiskeys that should only be sipped slowly, straight, and Elmer T. Lee is one of those. So neater mixer, 5 out of 5 points, but I wouldn't mix it. But it's got, actually, the flavors are strong enough to where if you mixed it with something, the flavors would come through. And you can't always say that of some whiskeys. But 5 points for neater mixer. Price, value, and availability. I've already discussed that a little bit. Again, I paid $50 for this in 2023, and I consider that to be an appropriate price for the quality of the whiskey, the name recognition, the reputation. I think it's worth that $50. But I've got some other high rye bourbons that are about that might be even higher priced, in the little bit over $50. Some Texas bourbons Iron Wolf comes to mind. It's got a high rye mash bill, and I would probably, in fact, Iron Wolf beat Blanton's when I did a taste comparison there. But that there you're looking at about, I don't know, Iron Wolf you can get for 45. So I don't know. I mean, I think its value at $50 is just right. Availability is the problem, right? That's the issue. I've never just seen this in the wild, and as a single barrel, you're not gonna, I don't think. I got mine as that part of that bottle club and an allocated release, and bottle club kind of disappeared. So I don't know. I did hear that a store, King's Liquor here in town, might have had some lately. I'm not sure. They had Eagle Rare and Blanton's, I think. They might have had Elmer Tea. So I don't know. Availability, good luck. And that's why the secondary market comes to play. And if you're paying $100 for this, no, I wouldn't. If you've got $100 to burn and you just want it, I guess that's your call. But price, value, and availability, only 7 points because it's rare, and it is not. I don't think it's worthy of all the hype. Okay, so I wouldn't pay beyond $50 for this. Bonus points, I would give it the whole 5 points for bonus. The hype, the history behind it, the quality of it. Yeah, this is a very good bourbon for $50. Definitely, bonus 5 points. That gives me a total score of 87. And if you think that sounds kind of low, well, because I evaluate the bottle and the history and all these other things, that always cuts down on the score. But my letter grade is drinkability, and that's a solid A. This is, a solid A for $50, absolutely. So my recommendation again, for all the hype and the word of mouth, I think it's oversold. It is very good, but not outstanding to me. If you've never had it, it's worth the pursuit, but not at some ridiculous price. Again, $50 is about right for this. Maybe prices have gone up in the last 2 years. I don't know. But when I bought it, it was $50 2 years ago. I'm glad I got it when I did. Would I buy it again? For about $50? Yeah, probably so. But my taste lay in a different area. I mean, I'm a Texas whiskey guy. So, if I'm going to be spending more than $50, chances are it's going to be more of a Texas whiskey, but not always. So that's my recommendation. This is going to be part of a special little mini series, and I'm doing too many series, I know that, but I think along with this, I'm going to do a taste comparison with my Eagle Rare, which is a different mash bill, and so there's differences between the two, but I think I may do that coming up soon. For now, this is Stab the Dragon, out here.